What's going on, one and all, and welcome back to One Way Bay. So the faithful of you should by now be able to tell me what district we're looking at right now. Do you have a guess? Well, do you notice the aquarium? Because that's the dead giveaway. Yeah, we were just looking over Springler Row. Yeah, so we've got some things to talk about this episode. We also have a Deathwave on our hands, apparently. Oh my jeez. Yeah, so I've gone ahead and disabled all of the crematoriums because we're trying to fill up those graveyards, but apparently it's not going well. Well, I mean, hopefully it is, but I'm not sure. So yeah, things like over here we have, oh my god, we have so many to go until we're filled up on those. So we're just gonna have to deal with some death waves, I think, for a little while. But yes, so in between episodes, I've gone back and I've done a little bit of work here, and I've also done a little bit of work over in the remaining ends of Springler Row. So yeah, I've had some comments on actually a few different videos across my channel lately that you guys want to see me do more building and playing of the games than just showing them off, which is totally acceptable, you know? It makes sense to me, but I just think it gets a little boring. But if you guys want to see it, that's fine with me, although I will compromise a little bit, I guess, and say things like this where I just put a bunch of trees down, I'm pretty sure you guys do not want to see. And if you do, I don't know what to tell you because I'm not going to show it. This is the kind of thing where I would totally be okay with streaming and like talking to you guys while I stream and stuff. But unfortunately, I live in a place where my internet's so bad that I can't. Like, I'm at the max tier of my internet package, and I get 0.6 upload speeds. So yeah, I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and unfortunately I can't stream until I eventually move somewhere. So yeah, I can't afford to do that either. So it's gonna be a little while before I can do that. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and plant some trees off camera. But yeah, so basically what I was saying with this whole district is, you see how I wanted to make all of these, or well, most of these houses have a bit of yardage behind it. So yeah, if you go and look up some like suburbs in America, I guess, where I live, you'll see houses that are in like wooded areas, developments even, and all of the properties will have a big backyard. And unfortunately, most of them will have actually a bigger front yard, but unfortunately in City Skylines, everybody builds right on the street. So yeah, so I had to compromise a little bit there as well, and basically give them a house on the street and a big backyard. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going for here. I like how this came out, and I think we're going to continue that into over here and over here. But that'll be in a little bit later episode, I guess, because this episode, we're going to finally finish this part up over here, hopefully. So yeah, what do we need to do in this episode? Well, you'll notice that this is kind of strange right now. We need to go ahead and lower this highway, I think. I'm not sure why this highway is all the way up on a stand, if you will. You know, maybe it doesn't make that little of sense to me. I mean, I don't know. It's just not making much sense to me. But I think if we go... Oh my god, there's so much death going on. I think if we were to build more housing and stuff and make this kind of connect up, it would look better having the highway cut through. But I think over here, we can go ahead and probably delete the highway, either sink the highway down or kind of make this land come out flush. So actually, let's go ahead and start doing that. And instead of talking about it, let's just go ahead and do it. So yeah, maybe a little bit of a, I guess this episode's all about compromise, because I think a good thing to do would be to sink this land a little bit and then sink the highway down. So it's still elevated according, like, in comparison to this land, but it's not floating in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, so what I'm kind of thinking is we'll go ahead and take the terraforming tool, our trusty actually, you know what, before we do that, this needs to be done. Yeah, so I just need to kind of flush out this and then go ahead and come over here and come this way with it a little bit. See, this is the thing about the terraforming tool. It takes a minute to kind of not get used to it, but make it so it looks good. But there we go. It's looking better already. There we go. And then, of course, we'll go through and put some trees down. But yeah, so the highway then will come off over here. Yeah, there we go. I like that level. And then I'm planning on doing some quay walls throughout the rest of this to kind of make this look a little better as well. And actually, that's coming out pretty nicely. And then what do we do about the train? What do we do about the railroad? We might have to move the railroad, to be honest, because right now it's kind of just in the way. We're gonna have to go ahead and probably reroute it. And I was gonna say bring it down through here, but I think we'll be okay to just kind of move it over just a little bit. We do have a plethora of money. Is that a good way to say a lot of money? I'm not even sure. We do have a bunch of money in the treasury at the moment, and that's because we've gone ahead and shut down those, actually, before we do anything over here, I just want to kind of stop and figure that out in a second. But yeah, we have a bunch of money in the treasury right now because we shut down all of the crematoriums. So yeah, we are getting quite a bit of income, even during its rush hour on a Thursday. And we do have an event coming in this day, so maybe we should turn time on once we figure this whole highway situation out. Actually, I've heard of somebody doing a series where they do like hard mode, and they basically don't allow themselves to pause the game, which is really interesting. I cannot imagine that's a real fun thing to do, mainly because it would be very hard to do any sort of road work. You're kind of like limiting yourself in what you can do, because you have to go through and mind the traffic and the road construction. So, all right, let's go ahead and finish this over here. I actually don't like how that clicked down at the end, so we'll go ahead and relay that down. So, yeah, that looks good right there. Cool. So I'm really liking how these things look for just like over here. This looks awesome. I mean, beside the fact that it's a little wavy back there, but like, you know, from a distance, that looks really cool. So I'm loving what that mod is doing for us. So let's go ahead and finish out this highway. And we're gonna have to try to make this look as nice as possible. You know, it decided to go ahead and do its own thing with the terrain. What are you doing? No, stop, please. I think these things are kind of screwing with the terrain. Let's see if I can just place this down now. What are you doing? Okay, we'll have to place those down after we go ahead and lay this highway down, because that looks good, but okay. I don't know how to come back up to this, to be honest. Boom, that's fine. And then, that's a little weird, but you know what? I don't like it. If you couldn't see that coming, you probably haven't watched a majority of One Way Bay. I like things to be really nice when it comes to building, which is part of the reason why I don't really like doing too much on camera. Like, even that's kind of wonky to me. But I'll live with it if you guys will. Yeah, like I said, time lapses would be ideal to do. And actually, you know what? We're gonna do this like this. You'll see why in a minute. But yeah, time lapses would be nice to do, but I just unfortunately don't have the hardware or the space to do a time lapse. It takes a lot of resources to do time lapses and record for hours at a time, and then you know, stitch it together and render it out and do all the things that we YouTubers do off, not off camera. Well, I guess technically, but like in our video production stages, there's a lot of things that go into it. So, and you know what? I had planned on taking the off-ramp around this, but now I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let's go like this. Yeah, there we go. I like that. And we're gonna have to tweak all of this again, but that's fine. We'll just make it work. There we go. And we'll go in and go ahead and boom. Cool. Yeah, we can turn this back on. All of these trucks will crash down to earth again, and we'll go ahead and put the walls back up. No, I got a great comment that said just call them walls. So, when they're not on water, we're just gonna call them walls. Yes, that works for me. I like it. Let's stick to it. So, all right, back to terraforming because it's all of our favorite things to do. Something like that, and then something like this. And then these walls should pull this together nicely. Actually, while I'm on this menu, reminds me that we need to talk about the canals that you guys wanted to see, and I think that's a good idea. Well, maybe not a good idea, but I want to see canals too. I haven't done canals yet in this game, so what I'm thinking is instead of having like canals for ships to come up, I'm thinking over in the mining area, we'll go ahead and put some sort of canal system in, and then we'll have some sewage pipes, and we'll just kind of maybe pretend that they're like waste offshoots from the mining and drilling, and we'll kind of deal with that. We'll probably push all the pollution off into this river, which will then create a secondary off-brown river and send it back out to the Pacific Ocean. So I think that's a good plan. Currently, we are losing 662 people per week, and unfortunately, people are actually moving out now. So we might have to turn crematoriums back on, like a couple of them, especially like over here. That's just a Jeep. I cannot turn that back on, but yeah, the crematorium, just to deal with Old Bay. I don't want to see Old Bay just like crash and burn because no one's picking up dead people, because there's actually the closest cemetery is probably in here. Yes. And that one's almost full. So yeah, we're just gonna have to hope that this one crematorium can kind of handle just all of this, while the rest of these cemeteries will kind of figure out what they're doing over with the rest of the dead people. But yeah, we just have people moving out now, so that might not be a great idea. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you guys can help me out in the comments. Should we try to manage that a little better, or just wait until we unlock it and then probably stick down like way too many crematoriums? Also, check it out. We're down to 4,000, but we're in the middle of the day. If you remember a couple episodes ago, we would tend to lose money during the middle of the day because everybody's at work and nobody's out. So now, because of all the crematoriums being closed, we're actually still gaining money, and quite a significant amount of money, which is pretty interesting. I'd like to see what happens at nighttime when everybody's kind of out and about. If One Way Bay, the entire population doesn't just die by night. Speaking of nighttime, I actually talked with the developer of the Rush Hour mod, and he said that around stadiums and things with events, actually, check it out, we do have an event coming at the stadium at 11 p.m. That's a very, very late scheduled game, apparently, or concert or whatever is going on down there. But yeah, so he said that around the stadiums, we should put up hotels, because people, even residents of the city, if they go to a game and it's too late, they'll just go to a hotel and check in for the night, which is a really awesome, like, AI thing. It's a really well thought out mechanic that I just can't say enough good things about the developer of Rush Hour, because it's just so well fleshed out. Anyway, we should probably put a tiny little district in here in the stadium. Now, I don't want to go ahead and delete the general store row of general stores here. It's kind of become like a bit of a tourist attraction here. So what I'm gonna do is actually pause the game and go ahead and create kind of a stadium district down here. And what we're gonna do is go ahead and zone this as not leisure, but what is tourism? Yes. We're gonna zone this little thing as tourism, so we'll get some hotels built up around here, and that should go ahead and, oh, yeah, see, I already screwed it up. That should go ahead and solve, or not solve, I don't think we really had a problem with that, but putting the hotels in should be at least an interesting experiment. So let's go ahead and do it. If I can just sort this out without it snapping. Please stop snapping. All right, so Lake Hills, we'll just name this tentatively Stadium. Stadium Land? Sure, let's go with Stadium Land. Did I spell stadium right? Yes. Also, I thought I renamed this one. I got a comment that just said, if this is gonna be Suburbia, just name it Suburbia. And, it's not the most Suburbia, there we go. It's not the most creative name that we have in town. I mean, something to do with school is pretty creative, as well as Pleasure Town. I don't know. It's not the funniest thing, but it works for now, unless we come up with anything more interesting. But we'll see what happens there. So let's just go ahead and fill in the rest of this zoning and go ahead and run the game. And you know what? I just realized that I forgot to zone that as tourism, right? Yes. Boom. Let's get some hotels up in here. Now, they're going to all delete, but I'm not sure if they're going to come back because we really don't have any demand for commercial or demand for industry at this point. But we have, low is like giving it too much credit. We have a minuscule amount of residential demand at this point. And you know what? I think because so many people are dying, it's just going to keep going down. I'm going to open up another crematorium. This is not going well, this experiment. I mean, I think we should just probably open up some of these at least, just to handle downtown, because it's not good right now. It's really not good. And now we're losing money. So, you know, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm pretty scared. Although, you know what? This guy, Todd Mason, doesn't give any fucks. He's gonna party all night long, even though there's just dead people everywhere. He's gonna party like Bernie. He's gonna go vacation, but you know. I think we're gonna have to try to figure this one out in the next episode. This has gone on quite a bit. Did we get much done over here? You know, we did, kind of. We've kind of figured this out, and actually, you know what I realized? Anybody coming in here right now, they don't have a place to go. Like, there's no way to get out of here. It's all a one-way. So they can come into this district, and unfortunately, they cannot get out at the moment. So in the next couple episodes, we're gonna start to lay out Soothill and at least get an exit out of here. You know what? Maybe we should do that right now, just to get people out and, you know, not to their ultimate demise of, just, I don't know, coming in here and getting lost into the abyss of one-ways and either having the moral choice to break the law and go into oncoming traffic, or just perish in that area. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance this episode to go ahead, and that is a long on-ramp. We didn't get a chance to do the train station, which is one thing that I kind of wanted to do in this episode, but we'll do that next time. We'll finish that up for sure. Is this? Yes, okay. I was gonna say, is this on the full step over here? And it was, but that must be like 1.5 steps up. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Let me know what you thought of this format. I'm not sure if you guys like the building or if you don't. I'm up for anything. I'm producing this content for you as well as myself. Personally, I don't really like to see a lot of building, but I'd rather see progress. But yeah, if you guys want to see me build, we can do that. It just slows the progress of the town down just a little bit more. And I think my commentary isn't really great when I'm just building. So, I don't know. Up to you guys. Let me know what you thought of this with either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Also, leave me a comment. What should we do about this death situation? Should we kind of just turn most of the crematoriums back on and see what happens and just let Grand Central Terminal come eventually? Or should we keep it off, deal with it until we eventually get it and, turn all the crematoriums back on. I'm not sure what we should do. It doesn't look good, but, yeah. We'll figure it out in the next episode. Until then, guys, have a good day, night, morning, whenever, and I'll see you back here in One Way Bay. Stay tuned.